Welcome to the Come Join Us podcast. We're this week with Amori, who is one of the top chefs in Johannesburg. We're at the lovely funded Linde restaurant. So it's located in the Linde area, and it's in Johannesburg, believe it or not. So in South Africa, most of the foodie havens is in Cape Town, but today we're taking a sneak peek at what's really going down in Johannesburg. Amori, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
be with
having
you here.
us. Mm-hmm.
Just a load on how we know each other. Yeah, because she was laughing about it earlier when I had a look. We actually met each other about 3 years ago. Was it at Trio Cafe?
Yes.
You had in
In
Greenside. And then we started chatting, and believe it or not, our family and friends went to varsity together.
Yeah.
Because your mother and my aunt is very good friends, and you come from Potchefstroom originally.
Exactly.
Okay.
I can't remember what happened. I think it was my mother saw come wine with me on my Facebook page and said to me, "But that's Sybil. I know Sybil's aunt. I know Sybil's family." And I was like, "Oh!" And weren't you in a picture with me? And then your mum was.
Yes, we actually did our pictures afterwards.
Yes, and then
someone
was like, "But he saw Seaman. I know this person." Yeah.
South Africa is disconnected, by the way. Everyone knows everyone.
Yeah, Joburg, I feel, is more connected than
you think?
Most. Yeah. I mean, everyone in Cape Town knows each other, I guess, too. But also, I haven't lived there for
Cape Town knows Cape Town. The people from outside knows each other.
Joburg knows everybody.
It's one of those. Yeah. Exactly, but tell us, how did you all get into the food industry? I mean, growing up in Porch.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's the same story. It sounds so generic, but I mean, my grandmother cooks, my mother cooks. I come from a really big farm. Well, my grandmother used to have a really big farm where she had underneath a farmhouse, big farmhouse. She had her own dairy and her own butchery and not a cannery. They would make preserves and jams and things and sweeties and biscuits and many things, and all the things that they produced under the house. She was in charge of the entire properties workers. So all the wives, or most of the wives of the workers on the farm, would work with her, and she would they would make themselves, and biscuits would be made, jams would be made, cream, milk.
Amazing.
The meats were slaughtered. Yeah, everything was slaughtered once a week. They were slaughtered, cows and sheep and pigs and things, and everyone came to pick up their meat and their maize meal and their cream and their butter and their jam and their biscuits for the week, and that's how
it started.
So when we were little.
So where were you involved?
When we were young, we were 16 cousins, and when we were young, my parents, who are 3 daughters and a brother, from my mom's side, used to drop all of us off at my grand's house in December, all of us at once.
And you were all 16 then?
Yeah, and then my grandmother would obviously just be like, "Oh my God, what is going on?" And then just push us into one of the little shops. So we would either be, and there was also a little, like a cafeeki, what is it
Cafe.
called? Like a supermarket. Yes. There was also a supermarket. Yeah. So you'd either get pushed into the supermarket or the butchery, or
she's hands on deck.
And she's just like, "Leave," and then she will tell whoever you're in charge, they must teach them how to make biscuits or whatever. So we did all of this, and
that's incredible.
We're actually 2 chefs in the family. I think my other cousin stopped chefing, but I mean, she went to chefy school.
Yeah.
So I think she worked for 10 years, and then she had babies.
But you also went to chefy school.
Yes, but I then continued to work. She worked for, I think, a couple of years, and then had babies, and then was like,
no.
Babies don't work with this industry.
Not
if you want to be
taken seriously. That's a tough subject we can go into detail in about later, but for now it's you. So so then you were there, you went to school also?
Obviously, yeah, and then when I was 13, I wanted to go to my cooking school. And my name was up for the list and everything, and then when I was 18, I met through a friend of my mother's, someone that went to Silver Kitchens, and I researched a little bit. No, I was 17, I was 17.
No, then it was Silverwood.
And then I did research on Silverwood, and I was like, well, they are the best. That is where I want to go.
Okay.
And I had to change some school subjects and stuff, and then I went for my 3 interviews, and I got in.
Fantastic. And how long was that? And then
Silverwood is 3 years. 3 years cordon bleu. Finished that, and then I started working in restaurants.
Okay. Overseas, local?
I've never worked overseas in restaurants. I've only worked local. But I've worked everywhere. I mean, to list them is I've worked in
Just tell us a few.
Genade. Just straight out of college, I went to La Colombe. I was at La Colombe for a while, then I was at the Spongemat River Cafe for a while. Then I was at Kelvin Grove, which is the Joburg Country Club. Then I came up to Joburg. I lied. And then I opened Waipelo in Paris.
Really?
Yeah, but I was too young. I was 20. I thought I was amazing. What is that, the effect where you, only when you're in the industry for 10 years do you actually realize you know absolutely nothing.
No, I agree.
For the first 10 years, you're like, I am a chef by a donkey. 10 years later, you're like, oh my God, I know nothing about food. I know absolutely
agree with
nothing.
you.
But there's actually a term for it. I forget the term. But I was very young. But I mean, I did it. Also, the other thing about it though, you're so brazen with your flavors because you give zero about people. I used to cook completely differently. Not that I'm not as adventurous, I think is the word. Now you have to, you know, you've got a big business. You need to keep people happy also. It's not just about what you want to cook. Luckily for us at Van Linde, we've got the dinner menu, which we can play a little harder on than lunch and breakfast. But at Waipelo, I used to just cook food. And the most ridiculous combinations and just do. At a stage I had oysters with white chocolate and wasabi. I know it sounds gross, it was delicious. It was delicious. And anyway, so and the way that we presented food, and it was just, now you're a little bit more
Cognizant, I think.
Yeah, cognizant, I guess, of what people want and how much it's costing you and what.
Well, why did you think your flavors adapted with stuff? Besides that, you give
when you
time.
run a business, it works like your mind becomes business orientated. Not only just look at all my fun ingredients, I'm going to spend them all. But you must also understand it's a business. It must make money. I must pay my staff salaries. If I don't, the business doesn't make money. They all lose their jobs, and we, you know, it's just. I think it's the nature of the beast. Look, we still, like I said, we still do beautiful food, but you can't. I'm not as extravagant as I was. Also, we're in Linde.
No, but
I love London, and I love being in the northern suburbs. I really don't mind it, but London is not as adventurous of a suburb as if you open a restaurant in Rosebank. So we do also have a lot of clients that come in. So we do we have a little bit destination. A little bit destination. We've got a lot of people from Northcliffe and Illovo and stuff. They come through and they're regulars, but it's not the day-to-day Rosebank Sandton crowd who will try chocolate and oysters and wasabi.
No, I get it. But they are traveling here now.
They are now. So we've it's
I mean, we're hosting our Alto event with you.
Yes, that's
and
true.
we were sold out within a week.
Oh,
140 people. So
we've gotten a lot of publicity in the last, I would say, 6 months.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But what would you say is your really makes or breaks a restaurant? If there's one thing, I know that we often speak
Obviously
about produce.
Stock control.
Yeah.
Stock control. There's a lot of stuff, but stock control. I mean, it is your money. It's what you're selling. And if you don't look after it properly, and if you don't count it and make sure, it's just stock control. And quality of produce. Because if you don't look after your produce, you don't have good stock control, your produce will be up to shit and you won't be able to sell nice food. I think obviously stock, but also the people, I guess the people.
But the scene's changed a lot in Johannesburg regarding food. I'm sorry, because I came here about 7 years ago, and up and down, starting to commuting, come wine with us, and now come join us and everything, and it's changed a lot. I've seen that restaurants open up. It's not just more. No offense, I always call it butternut and creamy spinach anymore. You know what I'm saying?
I want to say we call it something else, but I don't think we'll put that on YouTube. We name one of those brands that's a chain, and we're like, those people.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying.
It's butternut and chicken mayo tramazini.
Yes, exactly.
Chicken mayo tramazini.
That's very 90s, by the way. We were talking about 90s earlier with a few products. So.
Chicken mayo. Yeah, but it is, you're right. So a lot of single standing restaurants have opened, alone standing, many of them. There's also still a lot of chains, but a lot more people, I mean, I hate that word with a passion, but a lot of people in Joburg have become more foodie. And I hate the word, and I know all my chef's friends hate the word.
It's actually to someone's detriment. I've been chatting to people in Cape Town, and they've been telling me how hectic it's become. That clients come in there that's into social media, can can ask about anything. And I mean, for example, dietary requirements. There are so many dietary requirements these days. How do you keep up with that? I mean, as a kitchen.
No, it's horrible. I mean, not horrible. Look, we do it
difficult.
Planning. It's very difficult. It is incredibly difficult. I have in my kitchen, each of my junior sous are in charge of a section on the vegan menu, because we have a separate vegan menu, which we have to have, but we decided to make. And
clients are asking for it.
We've got a lot.
For kitchens,
the South African Vegan Association come here often, and they Joburg based, so it's nice for them. And I think about vegan food and dietary requirements with like gluten free and that kind of stuff. People don't. Chefs or restaurateurs, not saying everybody, but they don't care a lot about it. They won't go the extra mile. We've got, for example, we have a vegan, gluten-free, what is it called? Pear and almond cake.
Yes, I've tasted it.
Oh
before.
my God.
It is incredible.
I know.
It is incredible.
And you
I'll
wouldn't
vouch
think
for that. No.
that it's gluten-free and vegan.
Everything.
We have so
and
many
it's
people
stunning.
who come here and eat it, and it took us, we took like 5 or 6 recipes and tweaked. It wasn't moist enough. Anyway, we eventually got there. But the thing is, you can actually make really good food for vegans and vegetarians. I mean, I don't eat tofu, but planning, and your mise en place has to be right.
Totally.
You gotta, and someone has to be in charge of it. Like I said, my junior sous are in charge of it, and they each have their thing that they do. And if it wasn't for them, because my kitchen won't necessarily understand because we flip from breakfast to lunch, from lunch to dinner, and you've seen the size of my kitchen. It's not like I run a giant Michelin restaurant.
Yeah.
Michelin kitchen. I read this thing this morning about how South Africans are like, have no respect for Michelin because we don't understand how the rating works. Anyway, I don't think they talk about us. I think they talked about the foodies, the Tramezzini Sharons. Bestaan jy? Bottomless coffee, Tramezzini Sharon.
I must say, I love that synergy.
In the mall. So our kitchen is really small, so it is, you're right, it's super difficult. As soon as breakfast is over, we pack everything into the walk-ins and lunch comes out. And as soon as lunch is over, we do exactly the same thing. And I mean, it's planning, it's a mission, it's not easy. I wish my kitchen was 3 times the size. No. That would have been amazing, but
what you're getting out of it, you sometimes can't believe, eh?
Yeah, I know. I know. I was looking at the one dish we're making for the altar thing, which is the lamb tails that we're going to taste.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that the amount of slow cooking that happens in my kitchen. I don't know where it happens. I have no idea where food cooks for 8 hours. On my winter menu, I've got like 6 things that cook for 8 hours. I have no idea where the staff are doing it and when it's happening. I just taste it afterwards and I'm like, yeah, no, yes, no. I have no idea where they did it.
Because so do you write all your menus, everything, then you write your recipes? Because I know you're hectic about, like you said, quality control, everything.
So we just flipped our dinner menu for winter. It takes me about, look, it depends. I think it's any creative job. It takes me a while. It takes me about a month, maybe 2, to create a menu. Easy to create 2 dishes and on the fly every day. But the thing is, if you create 2 every day, by the time you get to day 10, you hate number 1 and 2. You're like, oh my God, what was I thinking? That's so ridiculous. It's lame. No, it won't work. But also, as a chef, you need to also, I mean, we taste with our mind. I said, how do we explain it? I can put it on a piece of paper and I know it'll work or it won't work. Most of the time. I think most of. So every now and again you hit with some acidic thing or something that you're like, that's dead. But yeah, I write the menu and then I write all the recipes. It gets input into one, and then we cook them out, obviously. And once we've decided on the menu, all the recipes go into the system, and then we start running it. We start runs.
Are you thinking of doing a recipe book one day?
Yeah, we are thinking about that. We're thinking of doing a recipe book / coffee table book.
Yeah.
About us and all our suppliers, because we've got really cool suppliers.
Tell us about your suppliers. What makes them so unique?
So my favorite supplier, I mean, obviously I've got very expensive meat suppliers and beautiful things like that, but my favorite suppliers of the 2 that I have, many that I have, is Wendy, who makes our butter, is this Oma in Magaliesberg.
It comes from Oma. That's
why I like it. But it's glass butter. Like,